This is pre-calc lesson P.2, the Cartesian coordinate system. So we're all familiar with the Cartesian coordinate system or the rectangular coordinate system. X first, Y second. So this would be the point 4, 2, right 4 up 2. Over here, Q would be left 6, down 4, negative 6, negative 4. Remember, our quadrants are going to be like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We always start upper right and go counterclockwise. It's on the next slide. So first, second, third, fourth quadrant. To plot a scatter plot, if you're asked to do that, which I believe you are, you're going to want to put X first, Y second. You can estimate. Obviously, these don't have to be perfect, but you would put the years as the X-axis, and then you'd want to go up by millions for the Y-axis, and then you plot each point. Just a basic scatter plot there. All right, absolute value. Absolute value of a real number A is A if A is positive, the opposite of A if A is negative, and 0 if it's 0. So remember, absolute value is distance from 0, so you pretty much just make it positive, whatever it is on the inside. So what would be the absolute value of negative 7? Well, that would be positive 7. So you do the opposite, pi minus 5. If you did that, that'd be like negative 1 point something, something, something. So you can just flip that around and do the opposite of both. So it would become 5 minus pi. All right. So if it's negative, you do the opposite. If it's positive, it always become positive. All right. So absolute value. All right. Distance formula. Remember, the distance on a number line, you can just count. Remember, A minus B is the same thing as B minus A when you take the absolute value. 1 to 3 is 2. 3 to 1 is still 2 for the distance. The distance in the coordinate plane, remember, change in x squared plus change in y squared. Once again, these are all in P2 of your online book, and you can certainly follow along or keep those out as you're going through these assignments and whatnot. So change in x squared plus change in y squared. It's essentially the distance formula is just the same thing as the Pythagorean theorem. This would be your change in x squared right here. This would be your change in y squared right here. Add them together, or square them, add them together, take the square root. That gives you your distance there for D. So if we were going to find the distance between 2 points, we can just round everything to the nearest hundredth if necessary. But how far is it from 2 to 5, our change in x? Well, it's 3 squared. Plus, how far is it from 7 to 3? Well, that would be 4 squared. And you always want to keep those numbers positive. So 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. That's 25. Square root of 25 is 5. If you get a decimal, go ahead and round to the nearest hundredth on those when you're doing the distance formula. All right, midpoint of a line segment, you just take the points, add them together, and divide it by 2. And then the midpoint in the coordinate plane, you just take your the average of your x's and the average of your y's. And remember, the midpoint is going to be a point that you're doing. Okay? So find the midpoint between negative 2, 4, and 6, 3. So my 2x coordinates are negative 2 and 6. Well, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. Then you take that divided by 2, which is 2. And then 4 and negative 3 would be my y's. If I add those together, I get 1. 1 divided by 2 is a half. So my midpoint of that line segment would be 2 and 1/2 would be the y coordinate. All right, so slope and midpoint, and you have seen these before and done these before as well. Okay, first part of the assignment there, I'm going to go through 35 and 36 right now with you here on the PowerPoint, so you can get these done as you're watching this. Exercise 35 and 36, use the graph of the investment value down there. So we're supposed to use the graph to estimate some value of an investment. So January of 97, that's about right there. A little bit above 180, I don't know, 182 million, something like that. Okay, what about January of 2000? That would be right here at this one. I would say pretty close to about 280. So we're just estimating in both of those are in terms of a million. All right, to find the percent increase, we're going to need to do percent increase or decrease. And to do that, you always take the change divided by the original. Okay? So the percent increase in the value of the $10,000 investment from 96 to 97. Well, 96 is here and 97 is here. So I would say that's about, I don't know, 42 million. Then we have to divide that by the first one they gave us, which would be 96. Well, 96 to me looks like to be about, I don't know, 141 million. Okay, so we take the change, which was 42 million, divided by 141, which gives us approximately about 30%, 29.7% to be exact. But remember, you're estimating, so you just need to be close. Let's try that again. January 2000, what do we say that was up there? Like 280 to 2001. Well, that went down. So 280 to, I don't know, 260 to, let's say, 250. So that would be 30, but it went down 30. So negative 30 million it went down. And then we started in 2000, so that would be about 280. So we're going to take negative 30 divided by 280, so that went down about negative 10%. If it goes down, it's going to be negative. If it goes up, it's going to be positive. All right, let's try one more there. And you can feel free to write these down as you're going through 35 and 36 on the assignment. A lot of these we'll do together, or that I do on here. Feel free to take advantage of that. All right, 1995, that's right there. That's looking at like 120. And 2004, that's looking at like what? 310, let's say. So 310 to 120 is what? 190 divided by the original, which was 120. So 190 divided by 120 is 1.58. So about 158% growth. And that's pretty big growth, but we went from there all the way up to there. Okay, so to do percent increase, you take your change divided by your original. All right, that answers 35 and 36 for you. All right, standard form of the equation of a circle with center HK and radius R is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. This is review again. You saw this in geometry. Standard equation of a circle. So there's your circle. HK the center, R the radius. So find the standard form of the equation of a circle with center 2, negative 3, and radius 4. So you take the x coordinate, so x minus the x coordinate squared plus y minus the y coordinate, but our y coordinate is negative, so it's going to be y plus 3 squared equals the radius, which is 4 squared. So x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals the radius squared, or 16. So there's your equation of the circle. All right, and then we can go backwards. It says identify the center and the radius of the circle. Well, center would be the opposite. So 4, negative 6. Remember, you do the opposite there. And then you take the square root of 16 to find